try, it just hurts. I've been listening to songs with no words. I've been listening to songs with no. Got rid of all the demos on my phone. The ones that you would send me when you wrote alone. And I can still remember all the melodies you saved. I hope eventually they fade away. It don't matter if I'm feeling bad or good. Memories keep playing like I knew they would. Something about you just ain't leaving me alone. Got me switching up the stations on the radio. I've been listening to songs with no words. Every single thing with lyrics got you in it. And when I get the nerve to try, it just hurts. So I've been listening to songs with no words. I've been listening to songs with no. I've been listening to songs with no words. I've been listening to songs with no words. 'Cause every single thing with lyrics got you in it. And when I get the nerve to try, it just hurts. So I've been listening to songs with no words. I've been listening to songs with no. When I get the nerve to try, it just hurts. So I've been listening to songs with no words. I've been listening to songs with no. Baby, wait, I know that you're afraid, but it'll be okay if you just stay with me. We can run from here and we can disappear, and they won't find us where we are going, dear. So baby, hold on to me, 'cause I know I can make you believe in something that only we can see. Oh, so baby, hold on to me, hold on to me. Baby, wait, I know that you're afraid, but it'll be okay if.
Okay, good evening, folks. Just checking to see that I am working. My levels are okay, seem to be. Maybe a little loud, actually. Feel free to use the YouTube chat to interact. Good evening. Thank you for coming back for the second time. The first one did have a couple of hitches, which I think I've ironed out. Okay, what you need to know is tonight is a 7-round quiz. That seems a lot more than last time, but a few of the rounds have been shortened down a lot. And the first round is a lightning round that will take us just seconds to answer. Now, what we're going to do quite simply, folks, is get started. I'm not having anyone buzzing furiously at me, which means that you can hear me, which means that you can probably see me. I've got the stream open on my laptop and you're just seeing me now. Okay, well, the first round that we're going to do in a moment is called Sing a Rainbow. Now, Sing a Rainbow is a lightning round. It's going to be really quick. Now, you've got two options of how you're going to answer this and how you're going to score this. You can either use traditional paper and pencil or pen. You know, I'm not fussy. If you've got chalk and a slate, that's fine. Even a whiteboard and a dry wipe, that would work as well. But we've got a different option. If you look in the top right of the screen above my head, there is an answer sheet that you might want to use. I've made it on Google Forms, and it should answer your mark your answers as you go along, which I think is quite nifty. I'm trying to work out how to do it for school. So if you want that, you could scan your answers and it would bring it up on the phone, and then it gives you an answer sheet. All you need to do is put a team name in. If you want me to check your answers and double mark them and return them to you, you can put an email address in, but that's purely optional. Okay, this first round, the lightning round, is called Sing a Rainbow. So you're about to get part. Throat was a little dry. You're about to get part of a song title from an artist. I'll give you the name of the artist as well, just to try and remove any ambiguity. And the first missing word is a colour. I want you to match the colour to the song title. Now, you have a list of colours you can pick from if you're using the Google form. If you're doing it old-fashioned on paper and pen, well, you can just use your knowledge of colours to help you with that, and I'm sure you'll be okay. Okay, this is a quick round, and we're going to get through it quickly. Okay, number one, Bruce Springsteen sang about blank Cadillac. Remember, blank is a colour. Bruce Springsteen sang about blank Cadillac. Number two, Henry VIII wrote a song about blank sleeves. Henry VIII purportedly wrote a song about blank sleeves. Number three, Elvis Presley sang about blank moon. Elvis Presley sang about blank moon. Number four, R.E.M. sang about blank crush. R.E.M. sang about blank crush. Number five, Soundgarden sung about blank hole sun. Soundgarden sung about blank hole sun. Shirley Bassey sang about blank finger. Shirley Bassey sang about blank finger. The Jimi Hendrix Experience, this is number 7, sang about blank house. Jimi Hendrix Experience sang about blank house. An easy one here. The Beatles sang about blank submarine. The Beatles sang about blank submarine. Number 9, Prince sang about blank rain. It's not chocolate rain. Prince sang about blank rain. And finally, Closing the lightning round off, Jefferson Airplane sang about blank rabbit. Jefferson Airplane sang about blank rabbit. Right, I'm just going to give you a moment or two to deliberate about them, and then we will go through them. Right, okay, let's go through those answers. Number 1 was pink Cadillac. Number 2 was green sleeves. Number 3 was blue moon. Number 4 was orange crush. Number 5 was black hole sun. Number 6 was Goldfinger. Number 7 was red house. Number 8 was yellow submarine. Number 9 was purple rain. And number 10 was white rabbit. If you've done that on the Google form, that will all be marked for you, hopefully correctly, and if not, I'll correct it afterwards. Okay, so that's round 1 over and done with. Now on to round 2. Round 2 is one from last week. It's who's in the band. I'm going to give you a name of band members, each from a band, and your job is to name that band. I'm also going to give you the country of origin, just to help make it less ambiguous, because there are a few people who share names. I'm not the only Chris Brown in the world. I believe I'm the most famous. Treat women better. Okay, round 2. Who's in the band? I did say this was easier. The first couple here are the low-hanging fruit. They're for people who can't do quizzes. You know who I'm talking to there. The people who quizzes break you. These are for you, the first few. Okay, round 2. Who's in the band? So if I said to you, John, Paul, George and Ringo were in which band? You'd say the Beatles. I'm going to do just that. Okay, number 1. Gary, Mark, Robbie, Howard and Jason are all members of which British band? Gary, Mark, Robbie, Howard and Jason are all members of which British band? Were? Number 2. Mel, Emma, Jerry, Mel and Victoria, don't think I missed anything there, are all members of which British band? Mel, Emma, Jerry, Mel and Victoria are all members of which British band? Number 3. Jimmy, Mitch and Noel are all members of which Anglo-American group? Were all members of which Anglo-American group? Number 4. Barry, Robin and Morris were all members of which British group? Barry, Robin and Morris were all members of which British group? Okay. Number 5. Will, Apple, Taboo and Fergie were all members of which American group? Will, Apple, Taboo and Fergie were all members of which American group? Number 6. Noel, Paul, Tony, Liam and Paul were all members of which British group? That was number 6. Noel, Paul, Tony, Liam and Paul were all members of which British group? Number 7. Jessie, Leanne, Jade and Perry are all members of which British group? Jessie, Leanne, Jade and Perry are all members of which British group? And number 8. Jeff, Stone, Mike, and Eddie are all members of which American group? Jeff, Stone, Mike, and Eddie are all members of which American group? Again, could be were members. I've gone for the classic lineups where lineups have changed. Who decides the classic lineup? I do. Okay, number 9. Walter, William, Lionel, Ronald, Milan, and Thomas were all members of which American group? Number 9. Walter, William, Lionel, Ronald, Milan, and Thomas were all members of which American group? That lineup's changed an awful lot. I went for longevity and an alignment to the big hits. Okay, and closing the round, number 10. Dave and Sam were in which American duo? Dave and Sam were in which American duo? Okay. Give you a moment or two to submit your answers, to argue with each other. Some of you will be doing this remotely, and arguments are always better when they are conducted at a distance. Okay. The answers to round 2, who's in the band? Number 1, Gary, Mark, Robbie, Howard, and Jason were in Take That. Number 2, Mel, Emma, Jerry, Mel, and Victoria were all members of the Spice Girls. Of course they were. Jimmy, Mitch, and Noel were all members of the Jimi Hendrix Experience. Barry, Robin, and Morris, the Bee Gees. Number 5, Will, I Am, Apple, Taboo, and Fergie were all members of the Black Eyed Peas. Noel, Paul, Tony, Liam, and Paul were all members of Oasis. Jesse, Leanne, Jade, and Perry were Little Mix, our Little Mix. This one's a bit niche. I think this will have lost a few people. Jeff, Stone, Mike, and Eddie were Pearl Jam. Okay. And this will have lost even more people. There was a clue there if you were listening, but it's one for the older viewer, I suspect. Walter, William, Lionel, Ronald, Milan, and Thomas were the Commodores. And Dave and Sam were, of course, Sam and Dave. Okay. Round 3. Round 3 again is reprising from last week. It's the intros round. I watched back my previous stream. It was painful. The performances weren't good. They're not going to be any better. But people said they liked this round, so it's going to remain in. Okay, 10 songs. In this round, what I need you to do is tell me the name of the song and tell me the name of the artist. Now, when you're typing this in, if you're on the Google Forms answer sheet, make sure it's all in lowercase. As long as it's all in lowercase, you should get it marked correctly. If you've misspelt it, I will need to award it to you afterwards, so don't worry if you mistype. It will be marked wrong initially, but I'll award you your mark. Okay, the intros round. Now, on Nevermind the Buzzcocks, there were 2 people doing this, so I'm a little bit underpowered, but what I lack in manpower, I will make up for in gusto and in performance. Okay, number 1. Dunga 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 down 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 down. No repeats of this round. That's for the best. Number 2. Bow bow ba dong bow 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 ba dong bow ba little dong bow 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 ba dong bow 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 boom bow 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 ba dong bow ba little dong bow. That was number 2. Oh, a bit nervous about this one. Number 3. Number 3. That was number 3. Okay. Now, let me see. Number 4. Down 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 That was number 4. And for anyone struggling with this round, here's a nice easy one for you. Again, more low-hanging fruit. That was number 5. Number 6. That was number 6. Number 7's hard for me. I'm worried about this. Number 7. Bling, 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 blinky, 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 blink, blinky, blinky, blink, blink. That was number 7. Okay. Number 8. Jump, 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 jump. Jump, 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 jump. Whoa, whoa. Jump, jump, jump. Yow. Jump, 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 jump. Or something like that. It's interpretive. It's not an exact dance, so please don't blame me too much. Okay, and number 9. Boom, 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 dong, dong, dong. Dong 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 Well, I started in the wrong key and that was all wrong. I'm sorry, but if you knew it, you knew it, and if you didn't, you didn't. Remember, for each of these, song and artist. Oh, number 10 is another challenging one. And that concludes the round. I'm not going to repeat them. I guess if you really wanted to, you could pull back the YouTube thing and watch it again. I mean, that's the advantage of doing it on YouTube, and it means that everyone else doesn't have to sit through that monstrosity twice. But we are going to have to go through our answers in a second. Okay. Number 1 was White Wedding by Billy Idol. Number 1 was White Wedding by Billy Idol. Number 2, yes please, was Don't You Want Me Baby by Human League. And I forgot that. Before that. And if that really upset you, I'm sorry. Just back off. Number 3 was Livin' La Vida Loca by Ricky Martin. Now, if you've spelled that with a G on the end, I'm not going to penalise you for it. Remember, no caps for anything. Number 4 was Nirvana, Come As You Are. Number 5 was Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes. Number 5 was Seven Nation Armies by the White Stripes. Number 6 was In the Mood by Glenn Miller. Etc. Number 7. Right, okay. It wasn't good, and I had to go into the vocal line with a little trumpet solo that doesn't exist. And sorry to the musicians out there who felt I gave too much, but the plinky piano intro wasn't enough, was it? It's They Long to Be, in parentheses, Close to You, by the Carpenters. If you've called it Close to You, I've given you the mark. If you've included They Long to Be, I've also given you the mark. I've given you the mark as long as it's one of those things. Okay, number 8 was All Right Now by Free. Number 9 was Do I Wanna Know? Wanna Know, not want to know, but I think I might have given you the marks if you couldn't bring yourself to bastardize the English language, but the Arctic Monkeys. The Arctic Monkeys. And number 10, classic road safety jam, was In the Summertime by Mungo Jerry. Okay. Next, we come up to round 4. Now, round 4 is a new round. It's a different round, and I need to explain it. Because last time, I had the rather poor idea of getting you to write the next lines to a song. They had to be exact, or Google Forms marked it wrong. So what I thought is, why not give you the first line? And then, once you've seen the first line, you can tell me the name of the song and the name of the artist. So, for example, if I'd asked, somebody once told me the world was going to roll me, you would say that is Smash Mouth and All Star. Nearly forgot it there. And that would be worth 2 points. 1 for the song, All Star, 1 for the band, Smash Mouth. Okay, so now we're going to go into round 4. I'm going to give you the first line. You're going to give me the name of the song and the name of the artist. If there is any ambiguity about the artist, I will check up afterwards and I will say, yes, you have given me an acceptable answer. Okay. This is the classics. So there are 1 or 2 younger people on here. Apologies. This is essentially going to be music that I'm aware of, and I'm old and semi-fossilized. So don't worry if you don't know too many answers. It's easy if you're over the age of 35, although my 21-year-old son did well last week. But this round are the classics. Now, what is a classic? It's any song before the year 2000. Any song before the year 2000. If it's older than Oren, it's a classic. If it's younger than Oren, it's going to be in a round later on called First Lines Contemporary. But for now, just the classics. All classics, all the way. Okay, number 1. When you're weary, feeling small. Number 1. When you're weary, feeling small. Number 2. I met her in a club down in Old Soho. I met her in a club down in Old Soho. Remember, name the song and the artist. Number 3, I think this is a little bit challenging. I was born in the wagon of a travelling show. There's a slight issue with spelling on this one. I'll try and be forgiving. I was born in the wagon of a travelling show. That was number 3. Number 4, rising up, back on the streets. Number 4, rising up, back on the streets. Remember, I need song and artist. This seat's really squeaky. Sorry about that. The last one was too low. This is too squeaky. I'm in a bit of a Goldilocks situation. If I have a third one, maybe I'll get just the right seat. Number 4 was rising up, back on the street. Song and artist. Number 5. She was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. Number 5. She was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. Okay. Number 6. Regretting this one actually. Seems slightly sinister. Some boys kiss me, some boys hug me. Number 6. Some boys kiss me, some boys hug me. They're my children, and it's all fun. Number 7. There used to be a green tower alone on the sea. Number 7. There used to be a green tower alone on the sea. Remember, song and artist. 1 point each. And one of those two is going to cause you a little bit of a headache with this next one, I think. So no one told you life was going to be this way. Number 8. So no one told you life was going to be this way. Number 9. An old man turned 98. He won the lottery and died the next day. Number 9. An old man turned 98. He won the lottery and died the next day. And number 10. Look into my eyes. You will see what you mean to me. Number 10. Look into my eyes. you will see what you mean to me. I feel I did not repeat a few of those. I feel like it might have been 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to just quickly do them again. Some boys kiss me, some boys hug me. That was number 6. 7, there used to be a greying tower alone on the sea. Number 8, so no one told you life was going to be this way. And number 9, an old man turned 98, he won the lottery and died the next day. My wife is shouting from next door, you did repeat them, so I won't do it anymore. Let's go for some answers. Okay. When you're weary, feeling small, was Bridge over Troubled Water by Simon and Garfunkel. I Met Her in a Club Down in Old Soho was Lola by The Kinks. I was born in the wagon of a travelling show. My mama used to dance for the money they'd throw. Was Gypsies, Tramps and Thieves by Cher. Gypsies is spelled I think it's spelled incorrectly. Made it plural by putting an S on the end, and I feel it should be IES. But Mr. Watkins, can you tell Greg tell Greg to tell me which one is correct? Number 4 was Eye of the Tiger by Survivor. Number 5 was Billie Jean by Michael Jackson. I mean, of course it was, you got that. Number 6 was Material Girl by Madonna. Number 7 was Kiss from a Rose by Seal. Number 8 was I'll Be There For You by the Rembrandts. Mr. Watkins says I'm right. Thank you, Mr. Watkins. And Nick. So No One Told You Life Was Going to Be This Way was I'll Be There For You by the Rembrandts. The Rembrandts. An Old Man Turned 98 was Ironic by Alanis Morissette. Grumpy 90s Songstress. And Look Into My Eyes, You Will See What You Mean to Me was the interminable hit by Bryan Adams called Everything I Do, in parentheses, I Do It For You. Again, if you've written I Do It For You or Everything I Do It For You without the brackets, that's fine. If you put the brackets in there, hooray. If you've used capital letters, you're getting it wrong. The instructions are clear. Okay, round number 5. Again, I tried to learn from last week. Last week, 1 or 2 of the questions were just a little bit of a lottery. They didn't rely on the knowledge of the skilled quizzer. I asked last week which song charted higher, and it was a bit frustrating for a few people who played. So this time I've made it band against band. So round 5 is Top of the Pops, and in the battle for chart supremacy, there can be only one. I'm going to give you pairs of chart artists. You need to tell me which had the most UK chart number 1 hits. I don't care about number 2s or number 3s. It's just the number 1s I'm interested in. I've used the official chart as a source. There are people that you might look at and think, ooh, is that what? It's more, who do you think had more? Okay, number 1, King versus Queen. Madonna versus Michael Jackson. Who had more number 1 hits? Number 2, Robbie Williams versus Oasis. Who had more number 1 hits? I'll repeat these all at the end. Number 3, the Bee Gees versus Led Zeppelin. Who had the most number 1 hits? Number 4, Westlife versus the Spice Girls. Who had the most number 1 hits? Number 5, David Guetta or The Police. Who had the most number 1 hits? Number 6, Bowie or Elton John. Who had the most number 1 hits? Was that David Bowie or Elton John? Number 7, Kylie Minogue or Lady Gaga. Who had the most number 1 hits? Number 8, Eminem or Ed Sheeran. Who had the most number 1 hits? Number 9, Queen or Beyonce. Who had the most number 1 hits? And number 10, Sam Smith or Rihanna. Who had the most number 1 hits? Let's just go back through those quickly again before we reveal. Number 1, Madonna or Michael Jackson. Number 2, Robbie Williams or Oasis. Number 3, the Bee Gees or Led Zeppelin. Number 4, Westlife or the Spice Girls. Number 5, David Guetta or the Police. Number 6, David Bowie or Elton John. David Bowie. I don't know. I don't. Number 7, Kylie Minogue or Lady Gaga. Number 8, Eminem or Ed Sheeran. Number 9, Queen or Beyonce. And number 10, Sam Smith or Rihanna. Who had the most number 1 hits? Okay, let's go back to the top. Madonna versus Michael Jackson. Madonna had 13. MJ had 7. The Queen of Pop wins. Robbie versus Oasis. Oasis win. 8-7. It was close though. Number 3, Bee Gees or Led Zeppelin. Well, Led Zeppelin didn't release singles, so they had no number 1 hits. The Bee Gees had 5. Number 4, Westlife, 14. Spice Girls, 9. It's Westlife romping away there, one of the most successful chart bands in history, and why not? I mean, they've got everything. Number 5, David Guetta or the Police. Well, David Guetta has 6. The Police only have 5, so David Guetta, with his raft of talented singers, wins that one. Number 6, Bowie or Elton John. It's Elton with 7. Bowie only managed 5. And I don't know if that counts Under Pressure. I don't even know if Under Pressure was in number 1. But it wouldn't matter anyway. Ooh, but what about Little Drummer Boy? This bears checking. I'll investigate. I'll let you know. Kylie Minogue or Lady Gaga. Kylie had 7. Gaga only had 5. Kylie wins. Eminem or Ed Sheeran. Well, Ed Sheeran, virtually every song he releases goes to number 1. But Eminem has 10. Ed Sheeran, at the moment, only has 9. Number 9, Queen have 6. Beyonce has 5. Queen win. And number 10, Sam Smith versus Rihanna. Well, Rihanna wins with 9, but Sam Smith had a very respectable 7, especially for one so young. Okay, round 6. First lines, contemporary. And again, what makes contemporary? After 2000. If Oren was born, it's contemporary. That's pretty much my rule of thumb. So, again, just to go back through the rules, somebody once told me the world was gonna roll me is All Star by Smash Mouth. 1 mark for each. Okay, I'm gonna go straight into this one. Round 6, question number 1. Summer is coming past. The innocent can never last. Number 1. Summer has come and passed. The innocent can never last. Number 2. How can you see into my eyes like open doors? Number 2, how can you see into my eyes like open doors? Number 3, I was a liar, I gave into the fire. Number 3, I was a liar, I gave into the fire. And remember, that is song and artist. Number 4, I heard that you settled down, that you found a girl. Number 4, I heard that you settled down, that you found a girl. Number 5, and I'm going to give you a clue. Be very careful with the artist here. Very careful. This hit that ice cold Michelle Pfeiffer, that white gold. Number 5, this hit that ice cold Michelle Pfeiffer, that white gold. That's number 5. Number 6. Party girls don't get hurt, can't feel anything. Number 6. Party girls don't get hurt, can't feel anything. That's number 6. Number 7. We clawed, we chained our hearts in vain. We clawed, we chained our hearts in vain. Number 7. Number 8. I'm going under, and this time I fear there's no one to save me. I'm going under, and this time I fear there's no one to save me. That was number 8. Number 9. My lover's got humour. She's the giggle at the funeral. Number 9. My lover's got humour. She's the giggle at the funeral. And number 10. Just shoot for the stars if it feels right. Number 10. Just shoot for the stars if it feels right. Okay. It's our penultimate round, and actually our penultimate question, because the last round is just a single song. Okay. Let's go through them. Number 1. Summer has come and passed, the innocent can never last. This is called Wake Me Up When September Ends. I would have written When September Ends if I'm honest, but Wake Me Up When September Ends is the full title, and that's by Green Day. How Can You See Into My Eyes Like Open Doors? That's Bring Me to Life by Evanescence. I Was a Liar, I Gave Into the Fire is One Last Time by Ariana Grande. I heard that you're settled down, that you found a girl. Someone Like You by Adele. This one's going to be contentious. This hit, that ice cold Michelle Pfeiffer, that white gold, is Uptown Funk. No contention there. But Mark Ronson is the act. Bruno Mars was the feature. If you put Bruno Mars, I might give you a mark. I might give you a mark. Might not, but I might. Party Girls Don't Get Hurt, Can't Feel Anything is Chandelier by Sia. We clawed, we chained our hearts in vain is Wrecking Ball by Miley Cyrus. Number 8 is I'm Going Under and This Time I Fear There's No One to Save Me is Someone You Loved by Lewis Capaldi. Something for the more recent chart listener. Number 9. My Lover's Got Humour, She's the Giggle at the Funeral is Take Me to Church by Hosier. And number 10. Just Shoot for the Stars If It Feels Right. The song, Moves Like Jagger. The group, Maroon 5. Okay, which brings us to the very end of the game. And the final round is a final question worth 4 points. Well, 2 questions, sort of. I'm going to do, in the style of Vic Reeves imitating a club singer, 1 song. 5 were too many. 1 song. And this 1 song you need to name, and you need to name the artist. 2 points for each that you get correct. Okay? Okay. Or something like that. And that's it. I won't repeat that. I'm sure you're relieved. I think there was enough there for you to latch onto. Song and artist. Okay. The song was Rock Around the Clock. The artist was Bill Haley and his Comets. I will accept Bill Haley. I will accept Bill Haley and the Comets. I will also accept Bill Haley and his Comets because that's right and the rest aren't really. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the game. If you would like a shout out, type on Facebook, type on YouTube. If you would like to shout your score out, let us know. That, I believe, is out of 94. I think you should get your score from the Google Forms. You should do. If you've done the Google Forms, there is a little final what went well, even better if you've got any suggestions or improvements that you'd like me to implement going forwards. Oh, already we're getting people shouting, can you check ours? I think we've got people who probably have misspelt or used capital letters wildly. Okay. Thank you very much. I think we've probably got a few more people here than last time. It looks like we've got 12 people watching at the minute, and I know quite a few of them are in groups, so that's good. Mr. Yent, I will check yours as soon as the stream is over. 69 out of 94, Chris McGrath, is not bad at all. Thank you very much. I think 67 out of 94 will be the song to beat. Chris, I wonder, did you get the club singer? I'd like to think somebody got it. It was an oldie. Right. Lee, I will mark yours and I will update you with your score. Don't worry about caps lock. Google, I need to work out how to make it um, ignore case. It's case sensitive, and I need to make it case insensitive. Well, thank you very much, folks. I hope you've had an enjoyable evening. Thank you for stopping in. Thank you for spending a little bit of your time doing this quiz. And I hope you are all safe, you're all well. If you are involved in looking after other people, either in the NHS or the forces or the uniformed services or in a supermarket or a school or a play centre or a bus driver or anywhere. Thank you very much for everything you're doing to keep the rest of us ticking by. And everyone, just keep staying safe and look forward to seeing you all on the other side of it. And with that, I will bid you a fond farewell, folks. Good evening.